Hello everyone, I'm back. We're back. Turn the game volume up a little bit, the music, because my voice can be kind of loud and kind of tinny in these videos, and the music in this game is also really nice, so that's another good reason too. So we're in year 6. It's been a couple days since I've played, so I'm just kind of catching my bearings real quick. So we got that orchard built at the end of year 5, and we had talked about putting in some more houses, try to get either some more people born, or for when some nomads show up. So that might be a good thing to do. Year 6 might be a little boring too. Not necessarily boring, there's going to be a lot of stuff being talked about, I guess. But right around this time in the game is when I like to start prepping where things are going to be built outside of, what we're currently building or trying to get built. Just because it gives me a lay of the land a little bit and just sets me up for the future so I can slowly just, okay, there's a couple builders, let's start this, couple builders, start that. And that routine typically seems to work for me. I think the other thing I might do this season, yeah, maybe we'll just do it for the season of spring. Now this year is start on a slower and just kind of let it run rather than continuously pausing for stuff, because really all we're doing right now is kind of slow maintenance stuff. We'd like to get some more laborers in here if we can. Maybe we'll get a student out of school soon or something, and then we'll be able to start building. But for now, we had talked about putting in some houses. I think before I do that, I just want to see kind of how this road is going to look. I haven't decided really if I want to do a 2-lane or just a single. I think something like that would look good. Something like this might look pretty good too, and then this can kind of be leading to the main hub of this little island here that we got. So yeah, we'll actually make that too wide, and now we know where we're building off of. We'll see if we can fit one house in here. It looks like we can. And instead of keeping him right on the water, we're actually going to put him right up against the woodcutter, and hopefully the woodcutter ends up living there. That would be a nice, convenient place to live. But as you can see, the one laborer will start setting the material in for this, but we don't get anybody building it quite yet. So we're actually going to do one more beside that. Besides that, it's not beside it. It is as well as it. I don't know if you say that two different ways. We're going to put him up here. I'm going to see kind of where he fits nicely in here. Look at that. Little house on the prairie, right next to the schoolyard. It's beautiful. It's like it was meant to be there. And look at that. We got one new laborer. Put him as a builder. We'll pause this house. We'll start getting this house built. And just like that, we already have all the material in there for it. And now this one little builder will start getting to work. From here, we had talked about... This is the hard part for me, guys. So, as you can see here, you can build roads, and they're just going to slowly start getting built. I don't really want people to be wasting their time doing that when they could be doing buildings and stuff, but there's no, like in this building, I can go in here and I can pause it, and they'll stop working on it. I don't want to do that, obviously, right now. But you can't do that with road tiles. You can get rid of them once they're built, but there's no, I want to put this here, put it here later. They're just going to start putting the tiles out. The whole reason I mention that right now is because it's kind of what I want to start doing. I want to start bringing these in where they're going to be sitting. Doesn't look like it's going to be able to go all the way there, but we'll go there, and that's where we want it to be. And it's going to turn there, and hopefully that is going to allow us to make a bridge. It's going to continue off here. I don't want somebody to accidentally have to make that, so let's see if this bridge will actually work. So where was it? Right off the edge. See, that might not work. Oh, I was going very much to the wrong place. Alright, so way over here by the white tree. Will you go there? You will. Okay, that's really nice. I don't really know why it's... Maybe just because there's nothing there yet. I guess that makes sense. The road went all the way to the end though, yes. Alright, so unlike the road, the bridge, I can actually decide to, right off the white tree, right across, say that I'm going to build it and pause it for later. So we know that bridge is going to be there. We're also going to end up having another bridge coming off of one of these two spots, and we'll make it the outside. No, we won't. We might make that so it turns, so we'll make it the inside. I don't think you can put two bridges next to each other. You can. That would actually look really nice, and I've never done it before, so we're going to do that. It's going to be kind of a waste of materials, but that's okay. So it looks like we had another labor. Haven't really been paying attention, and we got that house built, so this is what happens when I don't pause. Stuff just, it goes awry. Alright. So that'll give us a couple more houses, that's good. We are still confused over here because there's nobody working. That's okay, because we have 97. See, it's these little things I need to catch back up on. I think another thing maybe to get built would be this market. It's not really necessary. We could probably save that for one more. We are going to get the trading post started though, because we do have a good amount of stuff to put in there. That's going to take 4 people to build. And just like that, we have another person. So we'll wait for this house to get done, and then we'll start going on the trading post. Other things we're going to want to do down the road here. This one I'm actually going to pause for because they don't need to build anything, they just need to clear trees. And we don't really want these fields here quite yet. But, oh, you know what? I think fields might not have a pause either. Maybe they do. We're going to find out. So I believe these were 7 by 14? How big was this? 7 by 14, yeah. So eventually we'll have 8 different kinds of crops, 8 different kinds of orchards. And to accommodate for all of that, I like to have it all end up somewhat near each other. So if that went there, that went there. Let's see if we can fit one more. Oh, we can, fantastic. We might want a road there though. And let's see, we have 1, 2, yeah, we're definitely gonna need that third one because we're gonna actually end up going out over here. So it looks like that one is right at that corner. He might not fit. So these ones back here aren't going to be the full 14, which is kind of a good thing. They probably don't need to be that big. We're obviously going to get a bunch of material when we do clear out for these fields, which will be nice. Hard part is trying to find, let's see, that corner right there. And this one doesn't look like, oh, maybe it will end up being the full 7. Wonderful. And what were these, by 12? That sounds right. Okay, so that'll look really good when all those fields are set. We'll have this row of 5 7 by 14s, and then right behind them 3 shorter rows, the 7 by 12s, and that'll give us every kind of crop we need all in one location. What we can end up doing over here is basically just putting a bunch more houses for all the people that are going to be working all these fields, and then maybe plural storage barns. We'll see when we get to that point. Orchards I don't go quite as crazy with. I actually like to have them more for kind of an aesthetic purpose, but we already have this guy here. Did there end up being a space in between those? Looks like there did. That's nice. There'll be a little walkway right there. So let's see what the size is here on this one. 6 by 6. And I usually put a space in between those as well, just because the trees take up so much space when they're in the orchard, obviously, that if you put them too close together, it kind of just looks like a jumble. So the 6 we're not going to be able to get here, so that will also be a shorter orchard. A shorter orchard. Good talking. And just like that, see, that one actually didn't have anything in the way of it, so it just became an orchard. I suppose I could make a second pear orchard. It's not a bad source of food. I might as well. It only takes one person. What season are we in? Late spring. So yeah, we can actually get somebody in here right now as well, working on it. And that actually gives me another good idea. I think we are going to scrap this third orchard. Yep. And what will look really nice next to the orchards, if I can find it, thank you. Whoa. She's not gonna fit, is she? She's gonna fit. That is fantastic. So, like I said, I don't usually like to put stuff right next to the orchard, but I think that's gonna look really good. What would be great if I had thought of this sooner, I don't believe I can just stretch an orchard that's already there. What I could do, actually, before anybody does start working this one, let's see, maybe I don't want to do that. I was gonna say I could just connect it right to, make it the same kind of crop, and then there'll just be a line of them. I think it might still look a little funny, as you can see here, the spacing in between each. You know what, I think we're gonna do it though. I think that might look kind of nice. So one will be a little longer than the other, that's okay. Try not to be so OCD when I do stuff like this, but most of the time I just can't help it. So luckily it still only takes one person, even though it's one tile longer. But that's going to look really nice right there. And the tavern is very much still in distance of the market, which is good. Yeah, I think that gives us a good start. We'll pause these right now just because we don't necessarily need our laborers picking all of this stuff up. So all the little pause marks all over the place can get annoying, but you kind of just learn to live with it. They're there, they're not going anywhere. These keep moving over slightly, and I'm not quite sure why they do that. And we have a new orchard, so put him there. We'll see if those two don't just end up syncing up. So as you can see, this little guy here, Jeromeo. That's a might be high. Hold on just a second. Alright, just had to plug my headset in. Yeah, 42-year-old Jeromeo building our road for us, along with others. Alright, and we're only in late spring because I just paused to do all of that stuff, so let's actually crank the speed back up. I think 5's kind of a nice one to just kind of get through a year. Not too fast, not too slow. Alright. So that house is going, everything we have set up is paused. We talked about wanting to do pastures and everything over here. I still think it's a good idea, but because I'm going to hold off on the trading post a little longer, I'm going to hold off on those pastures as well. We could get them set up this year. I suppose it wouldn't hurt. It's nice when all the trees are gone. You can just get kind of a better idea of what everything's going to look like when it is built, but... Did that tree just fall over, or do I have somebody out there collecting trees? Okay, that just fell over. That's good. Yeah, but let's at least start off and see what this will look like. So I was thinking maybe having all of the orchards facing this direction here, if we can. It might end up being a little more this direction, but we'll see how it looks. So this bridge is coming over from, let's see, way down here. So we're going to have some sort of turn come in this direction, so maybe 1, 2 rows of them. I think that might look nice. Now it's just a matter of kind of fighting with this terrain and its size. You definitely want to make at least 3 pastures. Like I said before, there's cows, sheep, and chicken, and obviously you get different important resources from each of them. And pressing R will rotate what side their little pasture's on. What did we call it the other episode? Outhouse? Outpost? Outhouse? I mean, it's probably their outhouse, let's be real. So 9 by 19, it's a really good size. I think maybe having this facing the road is a good idea. That's where a lot of work will be happening. I don't really want it to be out here or anything, because obviously the pasture needs to walk to it. What might look nice is if all 3 of them are kind of located together. So let's just go 1 over from that and see if we can make the same exact thing. So this one can actually be quite a bit bigger. So where did we come out to on this one? It ended up being 18, and it was 9 deep. So I can actually go 11 on this side, which makes me want to cancel this one here and bring it out 1 more. Or we could have a 2-way walking path, 2 wide walking path. Let's try that too. So we'll come out to the end. 1, 2. Let's actually do 3 wide. So if that started there, and it went, what did we say this was? 18 deep. So there's our 9 by 18. That might look good right there. And then we end up getting left with this little nub at the end, which we probably can't come all the way over, but we don't necessarily want to as well. We just want to be 1 out from him, and then we'll see how wide we can make this. So I need to come over at least 1 more. 1 more. So like we said before, this is going to be a little bit smaller one, but that's okay, because this is just going to be, where the chickens reside. And they don't need a whole lot of space. 11 by 7 will be more than enough for them. And that being in the back will look really nice. So we'll put that there. So now we have 1. Let's actually keep those on the screen so it doesn't stay with the perimeter if you keep those. Never mind. So 1, 2, and 3. And they'll have a nice big path in the middle. I think that'll look really good, and we'll basically just leave around them roughed out, and that way trees will just, you know, over time sprout up there, and I think that'll look really good. Excellent. So, yeah, like I was saying, the cows and the sheep obviously need a lot more space. They're a lot bigger animal. Sheep don't need as much as the cow, but it just kind of fit there, and we don't really have anything else we're doing with this side of the island. So I thought it might be nice to just get those sized out. Our crops have probably been done for a while now, so we'll stop working those. Like I said, we're just going to leave the people in the orchard, but that at least takes 4 people out of farming. We're going to throw them into here because we want to get some of the stuff being built, even though some of this stuff entails all of the stuff we don't want being built. We'll pause on him, but we will start this bridge. I think that'll be nice to just be able to access that side. And we do have berries right now. We will soon have pears. Might not be a bad idea to get the tavern going as well, just to keep this happiness up. So we'll unpause that. And we still have plenty of laborers. We're just going to pretty much throw all of them into being builders. Looks like we did have a nice little sprout of children. We got children becoming students. So good turnaround year for the population. And then I think pretty much as soon as we get this bridge built, we will start working on the pasture as well. We definitely want that done before the trading post. It's not likely, but they could send somebody right off the bat with farm animals. That would be a bummer. The other thing that's nice about the pastures, you do need to do it kind of meticulously. Sometimes it involves actually building an additional pasture, even if you don't necessarily want to, but kind of like I was saying, the 2 big pastures are going to be for the bigger animals, the smaller one for the chicken. Say I only build this one to start, and then the first thing that merchant brings is chicken. I can trade for the chicken, I can send the chicken to this pasture, and then later on when this is built, given that the amount here don't, you know, overcome the max of this pasture, I can send them over to this pasture. What I mean by that last statement is obviously this space is smaller than this space. This space can hold more overall chickens than this one. You can actually set the limit, so if this holds 12 and this holds 20, I can actually turn the limit of this one to 12 so that it'll never have more than I need to be able to switch them over. That might have all sounded confusing because I'm not good at explaining things, especially things that involve math, but there's my explanation. So the year seemed to go a lot quicker when I unpaused, but we do have a lot of stuff prepped and ready to go. We have an area for our pastures, probably get this market and this trading post going once this pasture is done, which it looks like we can start now. We literally have nobody building anything, so we are going to start this trading post right now. Resources are still looking good on. Wood we're looking low on, and we have a bunch of, a bunch of people and nobody in the forest. So we're looking good now. Food didn't really go up this season. Obviously we're having more people being born, so more people are eating, but we want to make sure we stay on top of that. So we'll put 1 more person back as a gatherer. And that pretty much maxes everybody out. We're starting to get semi-low on tools, and we're going to want to put those in the trading post as soon as it's built. So actually, gatherer, we're going to take you back out. We're going to stick somebody back in as the blacksmith. And as you can see, the trading post is coming in really nice. It's like there's actually going to be a door that leads right to this bridge that looks really cool. and also being right next to the fishing dock adds a layer to it as well. I really like that. I don't think usually I have those quite as close as they are. So it's almost built. Get that out of the way, you can see. We'll pause it up, and there's the tavern. So really cool dock area with a bunch of storage, obviously for loading and unloading. It's got the crane. Looks like just a, you know, its own storage container for all these things we're going to be sending it. And then a little house of, you know, maybe office space or something. But yeah, that looks really cool too. That barn door leading right out to the bridge like that. Obviously, we'll say they open inward, and that will be good. A couple more boxes over here, and then here's that little pen that I was referring to with its little death pit there. That's kind of strange. It's just the way the terrain kind of sloped down. I was able to build, but ended up with this mighty crevice. Hopefully the animals don't fall through into the water. They're not going to, but that would be a bummer. So yeah, boats are going to show up here every so often, every couple of years or however often they do it. They're going to ask if we want to trade. They're going to show us what they have. We can trade with them, given that we have the same total as whatever it is we're trying to get from them. We can purchase things from them, so we can actually use our, you know, I don't remember the last time I purchased, and I'm not really sure. We don't have gold. We don't, you know, we don't have a source of currency, so I don't understand. Huh. We're gonna have to look into that a little bit, because purchasing is something I've never really taken the time with in this game. I've always just traded. Alright, so, and then there's orders as well, and that was where I was saying if a certain merchant shows up, we can request that they bring cows next time. They might not that time, but they will sooner rather than later. And then here's everything that we can keep in the trading post. So all the stuff that we have going in the storage bins, in the stockpiles, all our food, our blacksmith, all the tools he's making, all of that stuff can get sent to the trading post to use as trade value. And like I said, the two big ones that I usually try to start with right away, looks like our logs are back up. So here's what I was saying about that. We are going to say we want to put 200 logs in the trading post. We are also going to tell the woodcutter he only needs to cut 300 logs. And that way he's not trying to cut 200 you know, piles of firewood from the 125 wood that we have on hand. That'll slowly start going up now that we got those foresters back in, so that's good. We're going to want to take at least a couple people out right now to put in as traders. As you can see, this one trading post, we can have 6 traders in, and their whole job is just all these materials that I'm saying we want, they're going, grabbing them, bringing them back here. I don't even think somebody needs to be... Actually, I lied. I take that back. I believe somebody does need to be at the trading post, at least one person at all times, so that when a merchant shows up, they have somebody to trade with. Otherwise, I think they just go by, or maybe they wait for a little bit and then leave. But regardless, once we get a few people bringing all this lump in here at once, then we can just drop it down to 1. We can take one of the people out, and then they'll just kind of maintain whatever we end up getting rid of. So yeah, we're going to take 200 of this, he's going to bring it back up to 300, and then it'll sit there. We're up to 90 tools. We probably only need, I mean, I would assume 28 right now. So we're actually going to take about 50 of those. Not iron, but iron tools. And then we will set his limit back down to, not 175, 75 for now. And that way he's not having to grab a bunch of resources to make these all back at once. What's another thing that we have an overabundance of? We're looking good on food. We don't really want to be taking from food. 1, it's not a whole lot of value for trade, and 2, you know, it's more beneficial being used for our people. Yeah, I mean, just typical building resources, we don't really want to be trading either. I think things like iron probably have a good value to them, but it also, they slowly start becoming hard to come by um, with what we're trying to do. So I think just, oh, and this isn't supposed to be logs, this is supposed to be firewood. I'm glad I caught that before I set somebody to go trade away all the wood that we have. Alright. We did get the right maxes set though, on both of them. That's good. We have 2 people working that. And we'll unpause. We're already into late winter, just like that. So we got the trading post built this year. We got a bridge, we got some stuff set up, and it's early spring already. I think we're moving in the right direction. I think next year is probably when we'll get this market done. Be a nice centralized spot for housing a bunch of different... It's basically a stockpile and a storage barn all in one. You can just put all sorts of resources in the market. You can have up to 12 people working in the market, grabbing resources from places and bringing it there, and it just kind of, it takes care of a lot of that storage, which is good. Alright, that's looking alright. What do we have being built right now? This pasture, we don't really need that going. Let's take at least 3 people out of there, and they're going to be making up. We'll leave them in there. Kind of want to leave the forester right now. We don't want to mess with the food. We don't want to be taking too many people out of food, even though we are sending them to go slowly gather food. We definitely don't want to hold off on the pasture because the trading post is already done. Like I said, somebody could show up. We want that being worked on. So, I think we'll just take one of these traders out. That'll be the easiest way. And we'll work both of them. We'll put them back in there. And that'll be year 6. Now I'm going to go back and listen to how many times I called it, like, season 6 or something, because I'm tired. Alright. Thanks, everybody. Later.